Hello everyone and welcome to our final presentation. We are excited to present you what we've been working on during all the semester with the Newsroom. Today we are not just presenting a project, we are unveiling a journey of discovery, innovation and problem solving that has shaped our understanding of the media landscape and our approach to value creation. Throughout this presentation, we invite you to join us on this journey as we reflect on our process, showcase our achievement, and explore the impact of our work on the Newsroom and the broader media ecosystem. But first, let's take a moment to introduce our dedicated team, B10, comprised of Paolo, Loraline, Diogo, and Xavier. Together, we've navigated challenges, explored ideas, and worked tirelessly to deliver impactful solutions for the Newsroom. Each member of our team brings a unique set of skills, perspectives, and experiences to the table, allowing us to approach problems from multiple angles and develop innovative solutions. About the presentation, here is what we will cover today. We will start with an elevator speech to set the stage, providing a concise overview of our project. Then we will delve into the core of our subject, exploring each phase of the value creation framework in detail, which are challenge, ideas and criteria, assess, value creation, and finally act and control. Let's delve deeper into our collaboration with the Newsroom. The Newsroom is a platform founded in 2021 by Jenny Romano, our KDM for this project, and Pablo Enriquez, who are committed to revolutionizing the way we consume and produce news. They have expertise in the media and news industries, innovative product, and experienced funding team. They also have interest customers who say they could benefit from non-financial and new-based data. Our mission was clear: to assist in finding companies' interest in non-financial news insight, aligning with the Newsroom vision of transforming how we consume and produce news. The project is an API tailored for the impact measurement industry, offering real-time access to current news articles related to sustainability, social responsibility, and ethical practices for companies of interest. It provides organizations with timely and relevant insight to enhance their impact measurement framework and sustainability assessment platform. The pricing will be based on a subscription model, offering tiered pricing plan tailored to the specific needs and usage level of different organizations. It will be accessible online through the Newsroom platform. Now, let's move to the VCW framework developed by Professor Luis Felipe Lages. The value creation wheel is a framework for change management, decision-making, and innovation. It is designed to identify solutions to complex problems involving key decision-makers in different phases and stakeholders to generate solutions and filters to select the best idea. With the guidance of our KDM, Jenny Romano, we begin by defining our challenge, laying the foundation for our journey ahead. This initial phase was crucial in setting the direction for our project and ensuring alignment with the Newsroom objective and priority. As I said before, the Newsroom is a platform founded in 2021, and they currently have two main products: an AI copilot for journalists to identify key stories and pinpoint areas of consensus and diverse narratives being surfaced, and also a mobile app for newsreaders that offer individually created news content, encouraging critical thinking through diverse perspectives. However, like any organization, the Newsroom faces both strengths and weaknesses, as well as opportunities and threats within its environment. Understanding this factor is crucial for strategic decision-making and long-term success. To gain deeper insight into the Newsroom position in the market, we conducted a comprehensive SWOT analysis. The main strengths of the company are the expertise in the media industries of the KDM and their innovative product that we have explained in the previous points. However, they do have some weaknesses, which are the resource constraints, and a limited market reach. Concerning their environment, the company has great opportunities with a growing demand for data-driven insights and for reliable news. However, they must be careful about industry regulation, data privacy, and security concerns. By identifying the internal and external factors, we were able to develop strategic recommendations and actionable insight to help the newsroom. Building upon our SWOT analysis, we conducted a thorough analysis to develop strategic insight and recommendation. Regarding the max-maxis strategy, the newsroom strengths can be used to capitalize and build upon existing or emerging opportunities. Therefore, the company can leverage its focus on sustainability where ESG concerns are high. For the maximini strategies, the strengths in the organization can be used to minimize existing or emerging trends by searching for clients in multiple industries and subsegments. Moreover, the mini-maxis strategy developed needs to overcome weaknesses to be exploited by using its media expertise to stay ahead of the competition. Finally, the mini-mini strategy pursues must minimize or overcome weaknesses and, as far as possible, cope with threats. The newsroom can then mitigate the risk of competition by providing a unique value proposition. Understanding the broader macroeconomic environment is essential for strategic planning. Our pastel analysis explores political, economic, social, technological, environment, and legal factors that could impact the newsroom operation and market landscape. For the political aspect, we found out that change in government regulation regarding data privacy, content moderation, or media ownership will affect the operation of the newsroom. Concerning the economy, economic data may lead to budget cuts in media organizations, affecting their willingness to invest in AI tools like the newsroom. About the social aspect, societal acceptance and adoption of AI technologies in journalism could impact demand for tools like the newsroom. Moreover, technological advancement in AI algorithms could enhance the capabilities of the newsroom. Concern about cybersecurity and data breach could impact the trustworthiness of AI-powered platforms like the newsroom. The environmental impact of AI technology, including their energy consumption and carbon footprint, could become a consideration for the newsroom. Finally, legal issues related to intellectual property rights, such as copyright infringement, plagiarism, dictation, or GDPR in Europe, could affect the development and use of AI tools in journalism. Then, when we selected a challenge to tackle, we decided that our challenge should address a real problem, be clear, concise, and well defined, and be feasible within the organization constraint of manpower, minute, and money. After considering the following characteristics, the company and the KDM necessities, we decided to pursue with the following challenge: which company may be interested in non-financial news insights. This challenge was defined according to the product that the newsroom already has, an AI copilot for journalists and a mobile app for news readers. To track our progress and ensure alignment with the newsroom objective, we established a set of key performance indicators, KPIs, to measure success. These KPIs encompass both internal and external metrics, reflecting our commitment to collaboration and accountability. Internally, we set goals for communication, research, and task completion to ensure our team remain on track and focused on delivering results. The two external KPIs are linked to the newsroom, and by monitoring these KPIs throughout the project, we were able to stay agile and responsive, adjusting our approach as needed to achieve our goals and deliver value for the newsroom. Now, let's move to the engagement with the stakeholders. We needed to meet with the business owner and KDM Jenny during every phase of the VCW. The competitor and the consumer were necessary during phase 3, and the media during phase 4. Employees had to be taken care of during phase 2, and especially 5 for the finance strategy. Finally, for the university, our group was present during all the phases. By involving stakeholders in the process, we were able to gain buy-in and support for our initiative, ensuring alignment with organizational goals and priorities.
Now let's move into phase 2, ideas and criteria. In this phase, we embarked on a journey of exploration and ideation, seeking to generate innovative solutions to our defined challenge. Through brainstorming sessions, research, and collaboration with stakeholders, we identified potential companies and criteria to guide our decision-making process. In the second phase of this process, we engaged in extensive research and analysis to identify companies that may be interested in non-financial news insights. We also took into account the advice of our KDM about industries that can be relevant for them. Drawing upon a combination of primary and secondary data sources, we compiled a comprehensive list of 20 companies spanning various industries and sectors, from established players to emerging startups. Each company on our list represented a potential opportunity for collaboration and partnership with the Newsroom. We came with 20 companies, which are Genesis Analytics, Share Impact, Evercity, Leonardo, Intuitics Limited, Upright Project, Edelman, Axion, Semasource, ABC Impact, Evergreen Park, Brandwatch, Tuoler, Appwise, NextGen, Transcendent, We4, Iberis Capital, Blinker, and Everfi. We also looked for criteria and filters that can be relevant for our challenge and solution. For the primary data, we have 10 criteria, which are industry relevance, financial stability, data accessibility, regulatory and compliance considerations, growth opportunities, data-driven decision-making culture, market trends, challenges, strategic priorities, access to CDMs, and company size. Then we have 8 filters sourced from the secondary data, including industry reports, market analysis, and existing frameworks for best practices. Market segments already using emerging news companies, companies that used news in the past and stopped using, Portuguese companies, companies that want to innovate and use technology to offer, companies whose image in the media and among consumers is important. Sectors where there are frequent regulatory changes or compliance requirements, companies that are financially stable and have the resources to invest in external expertise and data analytics services. By establishing clear criteria, we were able to ensure consistency and objectivity in our decision-making process, enabling us to focus on companies that align most closely with the Newsroom objectives and priorities. We decided to not use the poker method with the ideas because all the ideas were clear since they were companies and all passed in the poker method. However, we used the poker method to purify our filters and decided to keep 8 filters, review 5, multiply 3, and fill 2. Therefore, we decreased the filters from 18 to 8. In phase 3, we transitioned from ideation to action, engaging with key decision makers at the Newsroom to present our ideas and criteria. Through collaborative discussions and feedback sessions, we sought to validate our assumptions, gather insights, and refine our approach based on real-world feedback. During these discussions, our TDM provided valuable insights and recommendations, suggesting additional companies to consider and prioritizing criteria for evaluation. By leveraging their expertise and guidance, we were able to refine our approach and ensure alignment with the Newsroom strategic objectives. We then have several companies which are Junction, Belev, Become, 60 Decibels, School Foundation, Tonic, Ashoka, Prime Impact Funds, Mirova, Galway, Full Cycle, Earthshots, Better Ventures, and Ambienta. Therefore, we now have 34 companies. Additionally, our TDM identified and ranked key criteria for evaluation, highlighting the most important factors to consider when assessing potential partners. Jenny gave us new ideas and ranked 5 mandatory filters. News data relevancy. This filter assesses the extent to which A company's interests and operations align with the type of non-financial news insights provided by the newsroom. It considers whether the company would find value in accessing and utilizing the news data offered by the newsroom's products. Companies with a high level of news data relevancy are more likely to benefit from collaboration. Willingness to pay. This filter evaluates the company's readiness and capacity to invest in non-financial news insights. It considers factors such as budget allocation, financial stability, and perceived value of the insights provided by the newsroom. Companies with a strong willingness to pay are more likely to become paying clients or partners, contributing to the newsroom revenue growth. Access to key decision makers. This filter assesses the company's existing relationships or channels of communication with TDMs within the newsroom or its industry. It considers factors such as existing partners, networking connections, or direct access to key decision makers. Companies with established access to TDMs are better positioned to initiate and facilitate collaboration with the newsroom. Company geography. This filter considers the geographic location of the company and its alignment with the newsroom's target markets or strategic priorities. It assesses whether the company operates within regions or markets of interest to the newsroom and whether geographic proximity facilitates collaboration and communication. Companies located in strategic geographic areas may offer greater opportunities for partnership. Company size. This filter evaluates the size and scale of the company in terms of revenue, workforce, and market presence. It considers whether the company's size aligns with the newsroom capacity and strategic objectives, taking into account factors such as scalability, resource allocation, and market influence. Companies of appropriate size are better positioned to engage in meaningful collaboration and contribute to the newsroom growth and success. We also have 3 nice-to-have criteria. Industry relevance. This criteria assesses the extent to which the company's industry or sector aligns with the newsroom focus areas and target markets. It considers whether the company operates in industries or sectors that are of strategic importance to the newsroom and whether collaboration will contribute to mutual benefits and synergies. Impact measuring. This criteria evaluates the company's commitments to measuring and evaluating its social environment and ethical impact. It considers whether the company values transparency, accountability, and sustainability practices align with the newsroom missions to promote responsible and ethical business practices. Companies with a strong emphasis on impact measurement are more likely to resonate with the newsroom values and objectives. Alignment with the newsroom. This criteria assesses the overall alignment between the company's values, objectives, and operational practices with those of the newsroom. It considers factors such as shared mission, vision, and culture, as well as compatibility in terms of business practices and strategic priorities. Companies that demonstrate strong alignment with the newsroom are more likely to foster successful and sustainable partnerships. The mandatory criteria was evaluated from 1 to 5, with a minimum threshold of 3 out of 5 for the first 3 and 4 out of 5 for the last 2. The optional filters were all given the same weight and were used to rank the best solutions. With our ideas and filters decided and approved by the KDM, we were ready to move to phase 4.
Moving on to phase 4. In the fourth phase, we will start by implementing our value creation funnel to filter our ideas according to our mandatory filters. After that, we'll apply the multi-criteria decision analysis to get the best ones that pass through the funnel. In phase 4B, we'll create the concept and the value proposition for the challenge, and in phase 4C, we'll prototype our final solution that will be implemented in the next phase. So, in phase 4A, we filtered our company ideas with the mandatory filters in the following order. As criteria 1, we have news data relevancy. Criteria 2, willingness to pay. Criteria 3, access to KDM. Criteria 4, company size. Criteria 5, company geography. And company geography and company size, exactly. So, It is important to note that by filtering the ideas in a funnel way, a company is excluded if it fails to pass in every filter. This got us to 5 possible companies to solve our challenge, being them Leonardo, Upright Project, Transcendent, Tonic, and Ambiental. After getting our 5 possible final solutions, we applied the multi-criterion decision analysis. This technique helped the group improve its final solutions, going from 5 companies to 3 companies. We used 3 nice-to-have filters that are industry relevance, impact measurement, and alignment with the newsroom. With these 3 nice-to-have filters, we excluded 2 companies, Transcendent and Ambiental, so it let us remain with only 3 companies that are Leonardo, Upright Project, and Tonic. Then we moved for phase 4, that is about concept and value proposition. The concept involves harnessing the newsroom proficiency in non-financial news insights to create a customized API. This API will grant users real-time access to news articles relevant to sustainability, social responsibility, and ethical practice across various domains. By filtering out non-impact related articles and delivering tailored news content, the API empowers organizations to enrich their impact measurement frameworks and sustainability assessment platforms. Then we move to phase 4C. And in phase 4C, we developed the prototype of the product. The prototype of the product is an API interface that provides seamless integrations with users' existing impact measurement frameworks or sustainability assessment platforms. Through a simple and intuitive interface, users can access an array of real-time news insights related to almost everything they are looking for regarding companies of interest. Then we applied the 7Ps framework, as you can see, which is a marketing strategy tool used to analyze and plan marketing campaign. It considers 70 factors that influence a product or service success in the market, that in our case is a service. The first P stands for product. Our product is an API offering real-time access to curating news insights on impacts, sustainability, social, and ethical responsibility. Then we have pricing, and it will work as a subscription model, offering tiered pricing plans tailored to specific needs and usage levels of different organizations. The third P is placement. We will place the product online through the Newsroom platform, where users can check for documentation and more information. Promotion, as itself, will be based on advertising in the first stage. For this project to work, we will need the people from the newsroom. The process will be streamlined with plenty of documentation, tutorials, and technical support along the implementation phase. And last but not least, the physical evidence will be just an online service. There is no need, and we will not use, of course, a physical evidence of the product. In this slide, we prepared the domestic competitor analysis. The main competitors in Portugal are Público, Diário de Notícias, Expresso, and Observador. Now we'll analyze each competitor in 3 different areas that are frameworks, strengths, and weaknesses. Starting with Público, they are known for its investigative journalism and comprehensive coverage of national and international affairs. They have high-quality reporting, in-depth analysis, and a loyal leadership. On the other hand, they face challenges in adapting to digital platforms. Diário de Notícias offers a mix of news, opinion pieces, and cultural content. They have historical significance, diverse content, opinion pieces, diverse content, and a wide readership base, although there is competition from digital native news sources. Moving on now to Expresso, they offer a weekly newspaper with a strong online presence. It covers politics, business, culture, and lifestyle. They have timely reporting, insightful editorials, and multimedia features. They have a weakness on weekly publication that may limit real-time news coverage. Lastly, Observador offers a digital news platform known for its conservative learning content. They offer agile reporting, opinion pieces, and engagement with its audience. They suffer some more critics on being politically biased. After this domestic competitor analysis, we also approached the global competitor analysis. And the main competitors here are Google News, CNN, the New York Times, and BBC News. Now we'll analyze, as we previously did for the domestic competitor analysis, each competitor in the same three areas as in the previous slide: frameworks, strengths, and weaknesses. Starting with Google News, Google curates and presents news articles from various publishers, aiming to provide relevant and personalized content to users. They have massive reach, personalized recommendations, and content aggregation, although with algorithmic bias and lack of original content. CNN by itself produces news content across various formats and covers a wide range of topics. Their brand reputation is very good, and they have 24/7 coverage and a big digital presence. They suffer from perceived bias and declining TV ratings. The New York Times covers a wide range of topics, including politics, culture, science, and lifestyle. They have a big focus on in-depth reporting, analysis, and opinion articles. The New York Times has a lot of prestige, success in digital in digital subscription, and in-depth reporting. Their subscription costs are high, and they have perceived political bias. Lastly, but not least again, the BBC News covers global events, politics, culture, science, and human interest stories. It emphasizes factual reporting and in-depth analysis. They have global reach, editorial independence, and quality journalism, although they have funding challenges and competition from private media. Now, with this project, we want to use a blue ocean strategy. This strategy will help the Newsroom, our company, to move away from a more competitive market, the red oceans, and create an entirely new market space where competition becomes simply irrelevant. To do so, we will focus on the opportunity identification, value proposition, target awareness, monetization strategy, brand positioning, and continuous innovation. First, we identified unmet needs in the market, and we will focus on the undeserved demand for positive news. By offering uplifting, inspiring content, and highlight human achievements, innovative solutions, and acts of kindness, we will have a unique value proposition. We will make an appeal to readers seeking a break from negative news cycles and target advertisers interested in associating with positivity and well-being. As part of the monetization strategy, we will explore partnerships with organizations aligned with the mission and offer sponsored content and events focused on personal growth. The Newsroom needs to be positioned as a beacon of hope and positivity to differentiate itself from competitors and emphasize the commitment of uplifting content. Finally, there is no need to evolve content based on this feedback and new or emerging marketing trends, and experiment with new formats and technologies to enhance the reader experience.
Now we will be taking a look at Phase 5, Act and Control, the final phase of the project, where we will talk about the 3 M's and the business model canvas. We will see the tests and KPIs that we established in the beginning of our project, and also take a look at the implementation roadmap and control for the future of the project with the company. Beginning with the 3 M's model, we'll start with the manpower. We have identified 2 types of people that will be present in this project: internal employees and external employees. The internal employees include the Newsroom team itself right now, as the CEO, our KDM, the founding partners, and some developers that they have as employees at the moment. Additionally, we have also considered some external employees that might be important to include in the project, as this is a project that will take some time. It will cost a good amount of money, and possibly the team will need more support. So we have identified various external employees that could be helpful. For example, software engineers, UX and UI designers, engineers, quality assurance, writers, and legal compliance advisors. A combination of all these people and manpower is what we believe will constitute a best project for the company, because with the current size that they have, it would be hard to operate and to fully accomplish what we will see in the next step, which is in the minute, the implementation process. So we have outlined 9 specific steps of the implementation for this project. The first one is to define the project's full scope and KPIs. So like we did with our project, it's important to establish what the project scope, what's going to be the objective, what are the expected goals by the end as well. Following that, a requirement of data and analysis will be very important. This is important to interview potential clients in the future and to really understand what type of features do they value, what in specific would they like to see used in the API. After that phase, we follow the design phase, where we develop the API architecture and develop the features that we have previously seen in the other points. Moving on to phase point 4, it's the coding and implementation of the API. This follows the previous step, as we already have gathered the information about the features. We have developed them, and now we will code and actually implement this. Following this, we will perform tests on the platform to identify potential issues and also create some useful documentation that the clients can use, because it's really important for these types of projects that the clients feel that they're being supported throughout all the phases. Next, it's the initial launch for the clients. As we have done all the previous steps, this will be probably a soft launch for the existing customer base of the Newsroom in the beginning at least, and then possibly in the future use social media to further expand the client base. Following this, we will need to monitor performance. This is a crucial step, as we need to see how good the API is, where is it working the best and not the best, so we can not only improve it, but this is a very important tool that can be used in our marketing efforts. The last step is to evaluate the project and, of course, continuous iterations, as this is the most important part. These steps should be renewed and done over and over again to ensure that the project quality is kept at the maximum capacity. Having all these steps taken into consideration, we expect that this project will take a duration of around 5 months. Regarding the costs, we have outlined some of the main costs we believe to be relevant for the company. These costs include everything from employee costs to legal costs to software and development costs, and they have totaled to about 400,000 euros per year, which is a high initial investment, but we believe that with economies of scale, and because this is a project that it's coded and implemented once, and then it needs to be updated and iterated, that these costs will be lowered, and that the revenue will outpace the costs in the medium to long term. We have outlined some main costs here. For example, the personal costs is particularly important, as the company heavily focuses on developers and engineers to actually create the project and implement the features that it's been asked. Now, taking a look at the business model canvas, we can see a snapshot of what we have been discussing about the project. So we can see that the key partnerships are the Newsroom team itself, some external employees, like we've seen, they could be potentially useful for the project implementation. The key activities mainly will be software development to develop the project, the API, and marketing. The key resources of the team mainly include a really good and experienced founding team with a lot of expertise in the media and AI industry. This logically leads to our next step, the value proposition, which is the API that would grant companies real-time access to news articles that would be relevant to impact measurements, it would be relevant to sustainability, to social and responsibility practices, a whole bunch of information that is considered non-financial and hard to obtain. Regarding customer relationships, it's important to mention that we want to build a good relationship with the clients, especially in the beginning, as we need their feedback, especially in the beginning, because we need them to tell us what are the parts of the project that they like the best, that they do not like so much, so we can iterate and improve on it. Like I mentioned before, the channels that we'll be using to promote the project will be the existing customer base in the beginning, and later stages, it will be through social media advertising. On the right side, we see the main customer segments that are industries, because the ideas were companies, so the customer segments have been translated into industries, and this includes the private equity, impact measurements, asset management, and consulting firms. On the firm side, on the newsroom side, we have outlined some costs and revenue streams that are likely to be part of the project. For the cost, it is, of course, the initial upfront investment to develop and test the API and the developer costs. On the other hand, the revenue stream would be a tiered subscription model that would basically be subscription model that companies pay based on the level of usage that they get out of the API. Moving on to the test and KPI evaluation, here we can see the KPIs that we established not only for ourselves, but for the project itself. And overall, we are satisfied with our compliance. As we can see, most of them are fully complete, while some of them have been almost fully complete. We did find the 5 possible target clients. This was done at the VCF phase and then narrowed down to the top 3 on the MCDA phase. The top 3 industries were also found, as well as the ability to deliver every project task before its deadline. Some external KPIs are still needing to be discussed with the KDM in the presentation with them, but this will be discussed later. Regarding the implementation and control, we have seen this mainly on the 3Ms framework in the minute one, but in a more broad overview, we can see that the first step would be to present the project, present to the KDMs, and receive some feedback in return to possibly change or adapt some parts. Phase 2, after this feedback implementation process, would be to start the implementation that was outlined in the 3Ms phase, and again, adjust, adapt, and iterate along these phases, because that's the only way we can make a project successful. And finally, launch, going to the market. This is the most important part, because we need the customer feedback to help us improve our project and improve the features, because they are our target clients, but who we need to satisfy. So their feedback and opinions are of the utmost importance. So the presentation is almost finishing. We would just like to leave you with a bonus chapter, which will be what we have learned from using the VCW in this project. We could have talked about many aspects that we found relevant, but we chose to keep it to a top 3 that we as a team particularly found relevant and helpful throughout the project. So the first one was the ability to clearly define criteria and filters for the decision-making process. This was particularly helpful because we had a lot of ideas in the beginning, and we had no idea how to prioritize them or rank them, or to understand which ideas were possibly valuable to look after or not. And the ability to define filters and criteria was really important here. Not only to remove ideas that were not good, but to tell us why this idea is not good. So we can clearly see where this idea did not pass the bar, the filter. The second one is the application of a structured decision-making method, such as the poker method. We as a team were not familiar with the poker methods, and it was valuable for us to understand these new methods that allowed us to prioritize the criteria. Like we have seen before in our case, the poker method was not relevant for the idea phase because there were companies, but on the other hand, for the criteria phase, it was very relevant, and it helped us a lot to really understand which criteria, which filters were important and clear and good objective filters to move on. Lastly, the third point, and in our opinion, the most important point, the best thing we have taken away from the VCW framework is its flexibility to adapt to various frameworks. What do we mean by this? So as we've seen in this project, we have talked about many frameworks. We have talked about the 3Ms framework, the business model Canva, the SWOT analysis, the PESTEL analysis. We have seen the blue ocean strategy. So the ability of the framework to iterate and to use all of these frameworks and combining it into one was really helpful for the project and really important for us to suit our specific needs with the project. Here is the poster presentation that we have presented in class, and a final thank you to our two professors, Professor Luis and Professor Carlos. Really big thank you to them, and a special thank you to our KDM, Jenny Romano, which helped us through the project. A big thanks to those three people. We couldn't have done without you. So once again, thank you, and thank you again for listening.